Hi everybody, it's Michelle again, coming at you with more news about the pre-op part of my gastric bypass journey. You wouldn't believe the stack of stuff I've got going on here to get my phone high enough so that you're not looking up my nose like you were in the last video, and not so that I'm not showing so much of all of this. Like, who needs a face full of that? Anyway, so I've got my little notes. See, I've been learning from everybody's videos, and I've got my little notes. First thing is, and I just mentioned it and said it kind of mean about the weight I carry up here, but I was watching my last video and being really hard on myself about the way that I look, and and then I had this thought, that's okay. I look fine, because now that I'm on this journey, that's the last time that I will look like that. I mean, it's downhill from here. And so that makes that point okay. That makes the starting point, and the starting point is sacred in its way. So I got over it. And I looked at myself and I said, good for you for starting this journey, and how wonderful it will be to see yourself at the end. Okay, medicals. My doctor had me do some blood work. It actually isn't surgery related, but it's really good to see it. But it's really good to see it beforehand so that I know where it will be afterwards. My blood kind of cracks me up, because you know how when you're fat, doctors assume that everything that's wrong with you is because you're fat, and they assume that when they do your blood work that it's going to come out all crazy because you're fat and you couldn't possibly be healthy. Well, my blood has always been, my numbers have always been fantastic. When I lived in Oklahoma about 5 years ago, I had an issue with my stomach, and I went into the emergency room for it, and they did a blood test, and the intern came in and she said, I've never seen somebody's blood so spot on. And it's still that way. It's just straight down the middle. The only thing is my cholesterol is a little bit high, just barely over the edge, and that's it. So that was very cool to see that that's all in order, and it makes me love my body even more. And in light of this surgery, I realize it's a really loving thing to do, because I know that as blessed as I have been with health, I mean, my blood pressure now is lower than it was when I was 19, and that was 130 pounds ago, and 18 years. Is that right? 18? Something like that. Yeah, 18 years. And I feel like it's at this tipping point where I'm not going to get too much more of that. That at some point, maybe in my 40s, it'll just go over the edge, and then there'll be no recovering it. I want to honor how healthy my body is, and how strong it has always been. I'm able to do things physically that I should not be able to do. I have been going to boot camp style workouts 3 times a week with my bestie, and I mean, that's hard stuff. And there are some things I can't do, like burpees. I can't, be down like in a push-up position and be on my toes. But just about everything else I can do, and I can hang the whole 40 minutes, and I feel like I'm going to die afterwards, but I can do it. Or a couple of years ago, my friend and I went to the beach, and we were too lazy. We walked about 2 miles out on the beach, and then we were too lazy to walk 2 miles back, and there was this hill, almost completely vertical. I mean, I walked up to it and I said, I looked at that path and I said, is that even walkable? And we went up it together, and there was a chain along the side, and so we were pulling ourselves almost as much as we were walking with our feet, and by God, we made it up, and then walked 2 miles back to our car, and I was able to do that. I mean, that's I mean, yay, body. I'm pretty proud of, I can't take too much credit for it personally, but my body has just always been very strong and has served me very well. So I feel like doing the gastric bypass is a gift that I can give to her so that she can be even healthier for even longer. Okay, note time. Oh, yes. I have set a weight loss goal pre-surgery. My understanding is that my insurance company, Kaiser, does not require you to lose a certain amount of weight before surgery. But when you take the bariatric classes, I've heard that they weigh you in. So, and they're trying to see you not gain weight so that you're practicing your healthy habits before you have the surgery. So I've decided a really cool goal would be if I lost 10% of my body weight, which would be 36 pounds, a little over like 36.5. So I said 37 pounds before surgery. And based on the classes being 3 months, if I started them in September, that would bring us to December, and then I have to have a few tests, and nobody's doing nothing during December. So January, I figure, so maybe I'll have surgery in February, March. So I put it at 2 weeks into February, which makes it so that I would have to lose a pound and a half a week. So I've set that in my goals in Yield, MyFitnessPal, and also in my Fitbit. And you know, it hasn't been that bad. I haven't been eating super healthy, but I find myself making, you know, the better bad choice. It's still a bad choice, but it's the better bad choice. Like, you know, I'll have a hamburger, but I won't have any French fries. Or, you know, I'll have the cake, but I'll only have half the cake. And I think making really small changes like that will help me get there. And so far, the calorie restriction for 1.5 pounds a week has not been bad at all. For some reason, at 2 pounds, like the standard, like you do at Weight Watchers or whatever, seems really restrictive. But that 1.5 pounds seems like okay. Like that's doable without me feeling like I'm starving all the time. So that's my goal, and I've actually lost 1 pound since last we talked, which was just a couple of days ago. I was 362.2. My highest weight was 365. I am 362.2 as of the last video, and as of this video, I'm 361.2. So hooray for 1 pound in a couple of days. Anyway, so that's my goal. That's what I'm working toward. And one more thing. No, that was it. Boy, I got through that fast. Okay, so since that didn't, I still have a little time, I'm going to tell you about this. My mother used to work in medical malpractice with medical malpractice claims. And so I finally, you know, came out of the closet, as it were, and told her that I was going to have this surgery. And she wasn't as negative as I thought she was going to be, which is awesome, because she has a tendency, it's like she comes around and she's okay with it, but she has a tendency to pick out like every negative thing, every negative scenario, every unconsidered consequence, and it's like, you know, when you're just barely new, you don't need all of that in your face. So she was okay, and I was very grateful for that. But then after a while, I tried to talk about it again, and she said something like, you know, I won't tell you what they are, but she told me a couple of horror stories about gastric bypass, and it's like, okay, you know, I don't need to know that. Like, I know the risk is actually very, very low, so I just, you know, don't need those stories in my head, to start off with. The joys of having a mother who did medical malpractice claims. So, anyway, funny story, at least it was to me. Anyway, I've gotten to know a bunch of new people. I believe it's Princess Love and Too Puffy Duffy and the Carlson clan and a bunch of others. If I missed you, I'm really sorry. It's been a lot, and I've been getting to know you through your videos, and it's fantastic. And some of you are right on the beginning of your journey, and some of you are there, and it's just really cool to get to know you all and to interact with you. And I've really enjoyed that, so thank you. So if you're watching me for the first time, or, you know, giving me a second shot, please do subscribe and like and comment, and I will get back to you. I'm pretty good about that. And I will get around, hopefully, to as many people in the weight loss community as I can, because it is a wonderful community, and everyone has been great. So have a beautiful night, and I will talk at you later. Bye-bye.